gentlemen, and welcome back to the CCN GameCast. My name is Jared, aka Cornfed Kraken 93, and welcome to the CCN Gaming YouTube channel, or wherever you guys are listening to this right now. Could be on iTunes. So we got a lot to talk about this returning podcast. I haven't done a podcast in quite some time. We've been busy here with things called life. I have been very, very, very busy with getting ready for the baby. I have been very busy on continuing my full-time job elsewhere, and YouTube has taken a beating, especially this last week. I'm recording this on Friday, February 9th, I believe the date is. I don't have anything handy to tell me what the date is. As a matter of fact, I don't know where my phone is. So, okay, it's in my pocket. So, yes, we've been doing a lot of stuff lately, and we're trying to prepare for the baby, and that's the biggest thing right now. I've been doing a lot more music as well. I've been going about once a month to play some music, and that kind of keeps me involved with that aspect of my life. For those of you that don't know, I am more of a musician than anything else. I feel like without, being too conceited, I'm better at that than I am with anything else. I was made for two things on this earth: to be a dad and to play music. So I'm getting to do both of those things, fortunately. YouTube is also a big thing for me, and we're going to try to do that as much as we can. It's going to be difficult because we're going to run into time constraints. Like right now, it is almost 11:30. I have to be back up at my house and out of the man cave, is what I call it, to get ready for work by 1. So that's not a lot of time to record this entire podcast. Plus, I got some YouTube videos to work on. With this will actually drop the day of. So you guys are seeing this pretty much live after the fact. It drops pretty much right after. It doesn't take long to upload. And it'll be uploaded to YouTube and to iTunes at that point. So, yeah, welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the podcast. We haven't been doing one of these, and we used to do them every week, and we used to do power rankings for current WWE and stuff like that. For now, we're going to put that on the back burner. We're not going to do this every week. We're going to do it about every other week, I think. It gives me more stuff to talk about. We got a lot of stuff to talk about on this one, so without drawing this intro out too far, we want to get right into that stuff. But, yeah, so thank you guys for joining me back here. I'm not even sure what podcast number this is. You'll see it. Anyway, you'll see it on the YouTube channel and on the podcast counter there on iTunes, whatever you call that. So, without further ado, let's get into some of the stuff we have to talk about on this podcast. Universe Mode. So, we have a lot to talk about on this subject alone. We just came off of No Mercy. We took a week off because I've had a wicked bad cold. You can probably still hear it in my voice a little bit. And I was just unable to commentate. I can't commentate matches when I can hardly speak. So, and it's not like I have a broadcast colleague that can pick up the slack from where I'm slacking off. So, it's all me. So I had to take a week off. There was no way around it. And actually, I gotta say on that aspect, I think it was a good idea anyway. To have a week where I did not have to worry about getting down here certain days to record so I can upload something was actually a big weight off of my shoulders. I don't mind doing YouTube. I love doing YouTube, but it is I've talked about this in the intro, it's a time thing. For me, it's a time thing. This takes away from my time that I could be relaxing. I could be spending with my wife. I could be catching up on those Netflix series that I haven't been able to keep up with because I spend most of my free time right here. It's everything. Everything takes a beating when it comes to YouTube. So it's finding that balance of how many YouTube videos do I put out per week to what I'm actually doing outside of YouTube. So it's finding that perfect balance, and that is very, very difficult for me. There's some weeks where I have nothing else really that I want to do, and I want to do YouTube. So I feel like, oh, okay, well, starting this new series isn't a bad idea. But then the week after that new series is getting in the way from doing some of the other things that I might want to do. So that's kind of where we are right there. But I kind of got off the Universe Mode track here. So we had made a decision and posted it on Twitter a few days ago saying that Season 3 would be the end of the WWE 2K18 Universe Mode series, the ongoing one that we have. With that being said, I don't want that to sound like Universe Mode is not going to be on the channel anymore. Just this story. This Universe Mode story will not be on the channel anymore after Season 3. We wrap it up with a series premiere of that, series finale. Sorry, it's not a series premiere. And then we're going to rework it. We're going to work it to kind of like an OBS type series, an open book, like the NXT. So that's going to be very interesting when it comes to doing that. And I think it'll be easier, and once again, it helps with that time balancing. And that's going to be a big topic on this podcast. Doing stuff for YouTube to be able to still do it, but be able to save on that time aspect. And that's what's going to be a lot of this podcast. So along the lines of Universe Mode, right now we have a Raw, we have a SmackDown Live, and we have a 205 Live. The NXT series that I'm running is completely separate. No attachments to the storyline on the Universe Mode. And that's why I called it a little bit different. Now, so with the Universe Mode right now, we have a lot of things going on. And it's hard for me to stop and think about what to say first. You guys haven't seen the newest episode coming out, so I can only talk as far as No Mercy. Braun Strowman being the WWE champion on the series. We got a big news for a big challenger coming on the next episode of SmackDown Live. You're not going to want to miss that. It opens up a completely different level of wrestling, and I think you guys are going to like it. So, what to expect from this Universe Mode? Well, like I said, at WrestleMania, we're going to wrap up the series. Now, I wanted to add in here that along the lines, because right now I need things to change for time, but I didn't want to stop the story. So, in order to do that, we have to rework how we're doing Universe Mode from here on out. So, from now on, instead of having a pay-per-view on the following Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we're actually going to give you guys more action by having it on the Sunday after, like where the pay-per-view would do. And what we're going to do is we're going to upload the pay-per-view in one whole piece. So we're going to do one whole big production for the pay-per-view on Sundays now, instead of doing it the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on the following week, and then not doing the Raw and SmackDown. Now, how does this help me for that time thing that we're talking about? Well, it doesn't really. Not currently. It actually makes things really time constrained in some aspects. However, by changing up the way that I'm going to do Universe Mode, making it not so formal makes it easier to edit and easier to put an episode out. So, with that being said, obviously on the week of the pay-per-view, I have a Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night SmackDown, Wednesday 205 Live, and then Sunday, the pay-per-view. Not to mention, right off of that comes Monday Raw, Tuesday SmackDown, and Wednesday 205 Live. So that's a lot of editing to do in that short amount of time, but it's not, it actually helps me because it's going to wrap up Season 3 quicker, Not saying that it's going to lack story, but it's going to wrap it up a little quicker because I need that to happen. We're in February right now. The baby's due in April. So I need to try to wrap things up with this universe mode to make a universe mode a little bit more fluid on the new one that we start after this story wraps up on this universe mode. To try to wrap this up sooner so we can take care of the baby and stuff like that without having a lack of stuff on the channel. So we're going into high gear a little bit, but not at the sacrifice of the story. So the story's going to be just as good, but we got to rework how we do a little bit more things so the story is wrapped up sooner than later. So that's why we're moving the pay-per-views to one big production on Sunday. I don't know how long it will be. And then, so with that, we'll, hold on, I'm losing my train of thought. So when we do one big production, that way we can still save the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that following week as a Monday Night Raw, Tuesday SmackDown Live, and Wednesday 205 Live. And I think that's the best way to do it. So, we got other things to talk about other than the universe mode. If you guys have any questions, and you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're not and you're watching this on iTunes, take a minute after, whether you're on your drive or whatever to work, go to the YouTube channel, leave a comment down below if you guys have a question regarding what I've just said. This has been my first opportunity to really explain it in good detail to you guys. So yeah, like I said, leave a comment down below on YouTube, asking me any question you like, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. So without further ado, let's get to the next topic in this podcast. So I wanted to take a minute without being a pain, I guess. I wanted to take a minute and address what's going on in real life WWE a little bit and explain my take on it from a channel's point of view. So for those of you that are not aware, however, if you're big WWE fans, you probably already know, Enzo Amore was released from the WWE due to sexual harassment allegations, or sexual assault allegations would be a better way to put it, of possibly raping somebody else. So, as awkward as this is as a topic to talk about, I wanted to explain my reasoning. We have dropped Enzo from the series completely. There will be no more Enzo Amore on the WWE 2K18 Universe Mode series. And with that, probably is going to mean Big Cass, for a while anyway. I have to work with his character to kind of separate him as his own entity here in the Universe Mode. So maybe Big Cass goes off on his own like he kind of was in the WWE, but that means new Titantrons, new Minitrons. Music is not going to be in there, so it's a lot to try to do, and I like to try to bring as authentic as a program that I can to you guys, but sometimes that's just not possible. It's like the Hardy Boys. They have not been in the series yet. They will be, because we actually have the real models, but before we had the real models, I refuse to bring them in because there's no way that I can make it authentic enough to bring in the Hardys and to please you guys the way that the WWE just did by releasing them as characters. So I tried to stay away from those type of things. Main reason why Adam Cole hasn't been brought in. We don't have a real game model. So we're going to be lacking in music. We're going to be lacking in Titantrons. All of that stuff. And to me, I like to make this as best a video as I can. I like to make it as authentic as I can. And sometimes they just don't have the tools in there to do so. Now, it used to be on the old consoles like Xbox 360 and maybe even Xbox way back that you could import music into the WWE games. But I think they got into some kind of legal issues with that. Copyright issues, I could see having a problem with that. So we can no longer do that. So this is where we run into problems on making it as authentic as possible. And that's what I try to do. I want to bring you guys the best content that I possibly can with the time that I can And that's just not possible when you do some of the community creations. Like Rey Mysterio is a big one right now, and they have some beautiful models out there for Rey Mysterio. However, we don't have Titantrons. There is a way to try to edit some, but we still don't have the music. So it makes it very, very hard to put out the characters that aren't typically in the WWE game, especially where Rey Mysterio's been gone for a few years. So that's kind of what I wanted to hit on a little bit. But yeah, Enzo Amore will be no longer on the WWE 2K18 Universe Mode series unless he gets cleared of everything, and the WWE may bring him back, but I just don't see that happening. That's big allegations right there, and unfortunately it's happening to a lot of people. Now, whether this is a situation to where it's actually happening or this is women that is trying to make some money off of it, I don't know. I would certainly hope that this is not an actual thing that Enzo Amore did. If he did, then he absolutely deserves not being in the WWE anymore. And that's my opinion on that. And that's where I'll leave it, because I don't want to drag this podcast out and kind of bring it down with all of this news. But I wanted to take a moment to explain why I put on Twitter that Enzo Amore would no longer be on the series. So that is kind of the details on that. So kind of the more fun topic on this podcast this time around, I wanted to talk to you guys about the games that I've been playing with this hiatus that I've had away from the CCN GameCast. So I wanted to let you guys know the games that I've been playing more and more and more. Some with my brother, some on my own. Really getting a feel for games and being able to play more for fun instead of YouTube. There's a lot of games that I play as a YouTuber that I think, oh, this would be great to do a series on. But then I think, and I'm like, why would I want to do a series on it? We'll just have fun and play it right now. Because when I do a series on it, I can only play about 20 minutes worth, and then I have to say, well, I gotta save it and wait until I want to record again before I play anymore. And sometimes that's just not that fun. I like to just sit down and play it, and play until I don't want to play it anymore, and then we'll put it down, and then next time I want to play it, I can pick it back up again. So a lot of these games I don't do for YouTube. Some of them we might down the road. I know right now my brother and I'll do a plug here for PS4. We have a server on the Ragnarok, but we have it as Primitive Plus. It kind of gives you a more in-depth game feel to it with Primitive Plus, I feel. So if you guys are interested in joining us on the ARC server, go to PS4, make sure you load up the Primitive Plus mod before you go in to try to join the server. Hit the join server icon, type in CCN Gaming in the search bar. The server should pop right up. There's 10 slots available at a time, so jump in there and join us. So if you want to find our base to see if anybody is actually there and active at the time, we're in the canyon area where the big bridge is on the Ragnarok map. If you know the Ragnarok map, we're right on that bridge, actually. We built a great big base there. My brother's been really at the forefront of building this huge base to use right now currently. And so we've been really building on that. I have a base right kind of underneath of the bridge. There's a waterfall if you're looking at the bridge from the canyon. There's a waterfall to the right. I've actually built at the base of that waterfall. There's a little kind of watering hole, and I built a great big log cabin type house there now. We got a bunch of animals. We've been playing it for quite some time. So, so if you guys want to join us on that server and go to that area and see if there's anybody there that can maybe make a tribe alliance with you, we'll be more than happy to get on and play with more people. And that's what we've been playing quite a lot is ARC, really. We've been really playing that game quite a bit, especially when I rebooted the server with Primitive Plus on ARC. It really got us back into it. We started from scratch, worked our way right back up to where we are. The settings on the server, I will let you know, that are kind of at a relaxed play. The dinos are higher levels. We got anywhere from 150 to 200 level dinos, which is good from a taming aspect. That means you have a higher cap on these dinosaurs. And I don't really understand all the logistics of it, but they're higher level. And that was a complaint that we had from somebody that joined the server. So other than that, the harvest settings are amped up a little bit, so you get a little bit more bang for your buck, literally. We level up pretty quickly. I turn the XP multiplier up a little bit. And it's kind of meant for a survival-esque server, but also leaning towards a more the creative side. You're not going to be farming quite so much if you want to create something, and that's something that I really enjoy to do. If I want to spend a day making my house or making something, I don't want to be spending the whole day saving up all the supplies to build that. I'd just rather go and build it. So it's kind of like a creative / survival. We do legitimate stuff, but we also have the stuff amped up a little bit so we can be more creative with it. So if that gives you good details on how we do things with that server. So for another game that we play is actually 7 Days to Die. I haven't played that a lot recently, but we were playing that quite a bit around the time that I stopped doing these GameCasts. 7 Days to Die is a pretty good game. We played that on PS4 as well. And I really enjoy that game. It's got a crafting element in there that's different from any other. And my brother and I get on there and play every once in a while. So yeah, 7 Days to Die is another game. WWE 2K18 obviously is going to be an always thing. I've been doing that a lot just for the channel alone on doing the Universe Mode. Call of Duty World War II, around the time that I wrapped up this podcast when it first came out. I was playing it pretty regularly, but I've actually slowed down a lot. The game is a great game. However, I just haven't had, once again, the time to play that game a lot. So it kind of got put on the back burner. So I want to jump into it and play it more, and half of that is figuring out a good time balance for YouTube and my life and time that I can just play a game and enjoy it. Horizon Zero Dawn is another game that I've been playing. I got that with the PS4 Pro. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that in the last podcast, but yes, I did pick up a PS4 Pro. My wife has now claimed the old PS4, and she's been playing Ark with us sometimes. So I got the Horizon Zero Dawn, and that's a pretty good game. I really like the graphics in that, and I feel like the game element is kind of interesting and cool. So, yeah, I've been playing that a little bit and trying to get into that story. And the last game on the list that I have here is Fishing Planet. So this is a free PS4 game. If you are interested in fishing at all, it's a really in-depth look at fishing and kind of taking a reality into the game. And you have to really be intelligent as to what to use for fishing gear. So if you guys are interested in that, it's a free game to download. You can pay money to play it if you want. You can, if you want to become a premium member and pay actual real world money, you can. However, I didn't. I find that the game is just as good without having to pay any money, so it just takes a little longer. So yeah, Fishing Planet. Go check that out on the PS4. It's not available for Xbox at the time, but maybe it will be in the future. Alright, so I think we're going to wrap up the podcast for today. It's kind of I think a lengthy one. I'm not actually sure. It only shows me the bars on the GarageBand here. But I wanted to also remind you guys that if you would like to keep updated on some of the stuff that I don't post on as a video and some of the breaking news for the channel and stuff, and that involves me, check out our Twitter page at CCN Gaming N Music. That's CCN Gaming, the letter N, Music. So check that out and keep updated on all the news. I do polls on there every once in a while. And before we wrap up, I wanted to remind you guys of one more thing that I actually posted a little bit ago on doing a WWE 2K18 rematch series. Now, this will involve taking rivalries and matches from throughout WWE history and doing a rematch of them, putting two AIs against each other, or, you know, AIs against each other, and seeing how the match plays out while I commentate it. I won't be playing as any of the competitors. I'll just be putting them in there and see if history can rewrite itself. And I think that's kind of an interesting series. And that kicks off with Shawn Michaels taking on Ric Flair at WrestleMania 24, the career-threatening match. That's the first one we're going to do. So stay tuned for that on the channel. It'll be probably a couple of weeks. I got a lot of editing and stuff I got to do for that. So thank you guys so much for joining me here on this CCN Gamecast. Like I said, keep track of us on Twitter at CCN Gaming and Music. That's CCN, the letter N, Music. And also like, comment, subscribe here on YouTube if you haven't already. And we will see you guys next time.